Beneath the glitter and glamour of Hong Kong, there's staggering inequality and a crippling housing crisis. There have been months of turmoil and demands for democracy. The violence has hit Hong Kong's reputation and economy, but the authorities are blaming the unrest on one of their most dirty secrets, the scandal of the coffin home dwellers. Many of them are deeply ashamed of their circumstances and ask us not to identify them. They're part of an army of Hong Kongers living below the poverty line in the world's most expensive city, where affordable housing is out of reach to many. This tiny home has been built in the gap between the lift shaft and the supporting walls, and the family and their 6-month-old baby boy basically live on this bed together. They've been here for 4 years, and for this they pay the equivalent of around £1,500 a month. It's a struggle for survival, and the protests have hit both the Hong Kong economy as a whole, but this family's pay packet too. Do you think the protests will end up with you getting better housing?
I
don't know. I don't know, but when it carries on like this, I'll lose my job very soon, and I'll have no money to buy food.
But there are plenty worse off than him. All of these are homes, top and bottom. They can just about fit one narrow single mattress. Here's some more, not even long enough for someone to lie down in, and there are 15 of these in this one room. Take a look inside one of them. It's not even 2 square metres, a home which will cost several £100s per month to rent. And most of the people here earn very little and rely on housing subsidies. This is the dark underbelly of Hong Kong, and understandably it's very difficult for outsiders to get access to them. We only managed it by building up trust with some of the residents. There are an estimated 200,000 people living like this in Hong Kong, and the fight on the streets for votes is said to be central to bolstering the human rights here, which should lead to better living conditions.
They don't think the situation now we can have a chief executive to represent us. So they think the universal suffrage is so fundamental for Hong Kong to solve different social problems.
The coffin home dwellers themselves feel helpless and forgotten by the government and the protesters. This man's been waiting for better housing for 10 years and lived in this box for 3.
Why don't they ever mention the housing problem in the democracy protests? There aren't enough homes and people like me are just being ignored.
Hong Kong's leader prefers to focus on these social issues rather than dealing with the demands for democracy on the streets, which are at the heart of the protests. And the city's poor are mostly voiceless and vulnerable. Alex Crawford, Sky News, Hong Kong.